careful, you climbing to watch? Alright. Alright. Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is gonna be Dise versus Sheik, an all the random orc mirror match here on Red Rocks. You can touch it. There you go. Alright, Dise spawning as the blue orc on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Sheik spawning as the yellow orc on the bottom right. This is my first time looking at Red Rocks, and once again, I am curious if we're gonna start to see more custom all the random games or in all the random maps where creeping is a much more larger integral part of the strategy, since you cannot guarantee that you're going to be playing harassment style from the very opening. I don't even know if I don't know if all of these tournament organizers watch any of my videos or take anything I have into consideration. I feel like I'm far I feel like I'm far removed from the community, but at the same time, because the community is so tight, like when I do like stumble into anything, everyone's like, "Oh, Crota, how are you?" So yeah, love this community. Wish it was bigger. Then we could get a lot more views, and well, continue this great game that Blizzard made over 20 years ago. Anyways, let's go ahead and focus back on the what's happening here. It is going to be Barracks War Mill, so it looks like it will be, well, maybe a lone grunt followed by headhunters. Meanwhile, War Mill, same thing. It is going to be a tavern, or excuse me, not tavern hero, random hero as well. So we just gotta patiently wait. Waiting is one of the hardest things to do. Waiting for things. No one likes to wait in line. No, the idea of waiting, but you know what? That's things you can't control, right? Until the laws of physics say otherwise, or until we approach the speed of light, you know, time is, you know, affects us all the same way. All right, it is going to be a Warden going up against Crypt Lord here. So the Crypt Lord opening things up, and this is a little bit of a downfall for Sheik. So Sheik here, well, he wants to do that go wide strategy, and normally undead players, hey, easy go wide strategy. You're gonna get some beetles. You're gonna and also you're going to get some skeletal minions. Well, that is not what is happening in this matchup here, and Dise actually gets a hero that is good at harassment. So a good harassment hero already, and now that's going to allow for additional grunts and headhunters to come over and reinforce. The Warden wants to get a Shadow Strike in, wants to get damage in. The Crypt Lord is obviously a unit that wants to easily take down some creep camps, get Impale, and level up. And, well, it's going to be a little bit of time before we see how this game really unfolds. Sheik is getting up more headhunters here. He is building up an additional Orc Burrow. Dise is already at 23 over 31. That second Orc Burrow is done, and his tech to tier 2 has already started. I'm not quite sure the discrepancy in their build orders and why Dise was able to start tech to tier 2 faster, but well, we'll see if it comes into play. All right, Ring of Superiority, nice item pickup for that Crypt Lord as he's going to be making his rounds out. Warden, meanwhile, well, perhaps going to open things up. No Fan of Knives, hasn't used any mana yet, and it's one of those situations as a Night Elf player, or a Warden player, not Night Elf player, as a Warden player, when do you use your first ability? The early portions of the game, especially going up against a Crypt Lord, you could find yourself on the on the receiving end of a 4-unit surround, and at that point, well, saving that ability point to be able to blink out of those beetles or any of those units are incredibly important. Talisman of Evasion picked up for that Crypt Lord. That Crypt Lord did get Impale as that second ability, so not going to have additional durability with that Spiked Carapace. Instead, Impale followed with this Go Wide army for those potential surrounds. Tier 2, already 2/3 of the way done by Dise. Meanwhile, just a little bit past half for Sheik. Very close overall as Voodoo Loungers are being placed down as well. And the Warden, well, playing relatively close to home. There's that Fan of Knives, and you can see once more, Dise is leaving one ability point open just so that she can blink out if she does get surrounded. Meanwhile here, the Crypt Lord going after the wolves. The dire wolf going to get taken down here finally, and this Crypt Lord, well, I'm going to absorb a little bit of that damage, pick up Boots of Quell the Lost, quickly sell it. Sorry, so doesn't want that item there, and does get to level 3. Circlet of Nobility, +2 to every stat, apparently better than Boots of Quell the Lost, +6 to agility for that Crypt Lord. As the Warden looking to finish off this Kobold Geomancer. Oh, Creep Camp. Crypt Lord, however, doesn't have that much mana. Are we going to see slow? Slow is, oh, Scroll of Speed. Not something you would expect cast by the Warden, as the Carrion Beetles now getting a nice little upgrade. Sheik was able to pick up a Shaman here, so that Shaman is going to be a pretty big heal as well. Spitting Spider dealing some damage. Beetles are getting cleaned up here, as the Crypt Lord doesn't have that much mana to try and finish things off. Are we going to see some more? Yes, more and more damage being done. Dise is going to lose one of his headhunters here. A Beetle may get taken down. Warden is going to get to level 3. No, 3 experience shy. And we've talked about those, those moments where you suddenly get more powerful, and trying to reach those moments quickly. That difference, an additional 3 experience, would have opened up level 2 Fan of Knives. Level 2 Fan of Knives would have, enabled much larger damage to be absorbed by all of these units. And then perhaps use that replenishment potion and come back around. So all of these are incredibly important. All of these little timings here, as we're looking at the Lightning Lizard, well, bursting down here. Lightning Lizard dealing 15 to 16 damage, but, also the Quillbore Hunter, that is a lot of piercing damage onto this poor Grunt. Grunt has already taken down to 144 damage here, and should get a healing salve after this. Meanwhile, Crypt Lord off to the north, well, still doing some rounds here. I don't Sheik is going to try to go after this relatively difficult creep camp. There's some Cyclone, and those Harpies are just kind of playing. Even though there are a bunch of headhunters here, it is rather difficult. Harpy Queen, is it going to get taken out? It does have, I believe, yes, does have rejuvenation, and it's like constantly getting rejuvenated, and it's so difficult to focus. Meanwhile, the Harpy Storm Hag did get in a couple of Cyclones as well. You can see the Beetles are cleaning up everything on the ground here, and Sheik has taken a very, very strong, creep camp with a very powerful item, I believe, getting a Pendant of Energy, Claws of Attack +12, and now also getting a Dreadlord as that follow-up hero, and he comes bearing gifts. Right. The Dreadlord may just feel like a pack mule at this point, bringing over those healing salves. You can see this army definitely needs it. Even though that Shaman does have access to rejuvenation, mana is at a premium at this stage in the game. All right, so 3 healing salves already used. We're looking at some healing back up. Meanwhile, I do say meanwhile a lot. Back on the southern side, Warden, clearing out this creep camp as well. Grunt has absorbed large amounts of damage and then constantly been healed over and over again. Boots of Quell the Lost picked up and sold. All right, so even though the Warden herself is an agility-based hero, doesn't want that bonus agility. Oddly enough, I don't know how it came about. Maybe a lot of Tome of Strengths. That Warden having higher strength and agility, even though the primary attribute is agility. Coming back through. All right, little bit of damage. There goes that down. Are we going to be looking? There's some more healing salves. There's Dreadlord. 2 more charges. Does have a Scroll of the Beast. Could use that for a bit of a timing push. Both sides are sitting on no upkeep, and both sides just enjoying a fun game of, creeping here on Red Rocks. Warden does want to get to level 6, and because of look, a Witch Doctor as well. So Witch Doctor and Troll Berserker's already done. So tech to tier 3, Fortress done here, Fortress done here. Are we going to see a tiny Great Hall placed down for a close gold mine? That is a question. But it looks like, no, we are not going to be having that unless we are, no third heroes being trained. Dise hoping to get a third hero up, or hoping to use tier 3 and that bonus experience on the Warden, but he's going to have to deal with a level 2, maybe level 3 Dreadlord when the time comes. It's always a calculation, risk versus reward. The fact, though, that Sheik also has access to excuse me, Scourge Bone Chimes, is it on? Yeah, on Cryptlord. The access to 6 additional item slots in these upcoming battles is going to be huge for consumable items, auras, and things of that nature. All right, Warden coming back across here, we can see a tiny, or no, a Great Hall just being constructed the old-fashioned way, even though we are at Tier 3. A long transit line of units coming to reinforce. That peon going to get taken out. Are we perhaps going to see a couple of stasis traps placed down as well? As Sheik is, well, there's a Scroll of the Beast being used to try and clear up the creep camp quickly. That is going to get regenerated. Are we going to see level 3 on the Dreadlord and level 5 on that Cryptlord? That Centaur, well, back already. Meanwhile, we're looking at damage here. Oh, Fan of Knives. We do not have the reinforced defenses. And are we going to see another Fan of Knives here come across here? Waiting for it. No Fan of Knives yet. There you go. All those peons getting taken down. And after all of that, well, only one Berserker lost here. So one Orc Burrow. So the Orc Burrow, 4 peons were trying to repair it. All 4 were lost. So that's going to be a sudden drop-off. I don't believe there's actually 11 workers. Yeah, there's only 4 workers right now. This isn't full saturation, and 5th one is building this. There is no workers here, so the worker count for Sheik is significantly lower than what is currently up there on the tab right now. Meanwhile, Dise does have this expo, and we are looking at dual spirit lodges by Dise, so very, very heavy on the casters, and that does make me wonder why so heavy on the casters. Carrion Swarm and Impale is a nasty 1-2 combination. You line them up and then you knock them down, and that could just be enough. 43 supply compared to 51. Dise, however, does have the supply advantage with all of these units, and now we're looking at a Fell Ravager and an Elder Wendigo as well. All right, Warden wanted to get to level 5, couldn't get there. We're looking at a little bit of damage. Warden blinks to the very back line. Are we going to see another Fan of Knives? Here, there's a blink. Are we going to see a Fan of Knives? No, that Wendigo gets taken down. Warden could be in a lot of trouble. There's level 5, Potion of Invulnerability. There's a Fan of Knives trying to be efficient with that mana, continuing the battle. There's an Impale. There's that Carrion Swarm 1-2 combination, but the Healing Ward in the back is providing so much cover. The Berserkers need to try and burst that down, but the Warden was able to get off another Fan of Knives here, causing problems. There's a perfect lineup from the side. There's a Scroll of Healing. Warden doing an amazing job fighting as Dise trying to escape away with that Fell Ravager. All right, Warden trying to finish off some more targets here. Does have enough, a little bit more mana. Is going to be able to blink away down to trouble, down to 440 hit points, and the level 5 Warden falls. She pressed so far to try and burst down these Berserkers, and, well, was unable to finish all of them off. 38 supply compared to 42, an absolute beating by Sheik. Sheik had the smaller army by far, and now this expansion may get taken down. We do see a couple of low hit point Berserkers who should be hanging out at the Fountain of Health for some reason. Maybe they're not entering the spa at this time. Got to be more of a misclick than anything here. Level 5 on that Cryptlord. Well, this Great Hall will get finished up here. A couple of peons are going to get lost. There is those Berserkers making their way over to well, that Fountain of Health. A couple more units could get taken down here, but Sheik, well, banking 1,000 gold. Even though he had lost a large amount, he has retrained up those peons pretty well. And we're going to be looking at a potential fight here. All right, there's going to be a stasis trap right at the start, and there's going to be a blink Fan of Knives. Warden is in trouble, trying to get away, trying to blink. No, Shadow, wow. Constant ensnares, and the Warden gonna, oh my gosh, was down to dead, was somehow able to blink and then get away. The ensnare, the cooldown, is going to be able to shadow meld here down to 158, 130, 175. Is it going to be able to blink? No, it is not. And that is going to be the game there. 3 Raiders able to time their ensnares long enough to keep that Warden from truly being hidden with Shadow Meld, right? Just recast the ensnare as it's about to be done. Any ensnared units are visible to the team that ensnared it. So sometimes when creeps ensnare, players cannot see it, but the creeps still can. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed some of those close calls there. Great game by Dise. being able to to combat Sheik, even though he was behind in terms of supply. Dise, well, lost a lot of peons, needed to do some serious damage, and did exactly that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.